everybody, this is Grace, and I think I'm gonna do it. This is a series. I've already put it up as a series about a narcissistic world, and why people should watch for things that people are doing that will lead to a narcissistic world. Well, we're already in a pretty bad one. It's rather narcissistic, but this one, I'm just gonna give it an example of something that's going on in my life these days. And like I said, use that as an example. And remember, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't think so. That reminds me of that show, Monk, the little song at the beginning of it. He says something about, I could be wrong now. This is the singer does. I could be wrong now, but I don't think so. But yeah. Anyway, let me get to the example. Okay, I don't have the greatest luck with doctors and dentists. Okay, I just don't. And I'm thinking that a lot of it is because it's difficult to treat me because I have an adrenal disorder. And the ones that I have seen, I'm doing good to see them for, like, they come in, ask me how I'm doing, I tell them what's wrong with me, and then they say they're going to go get some medicine. They might have some free samples or something, and then they never come back. Yeah. One of them does that. One of them did that. But overall, I think that's the problem. They have a problem. They're doctors. They should be able to treat this, But anyway, one of the doctors, my latest doctor, he's having a problem. He has apparently a problem with pharmacists who won't fill the prescription that the doctor says to fill because the pharmacist says, I'm allergic to it. Okay, I'm going to listen to the pharmacist. I've already been through that of being on a medication that I'm allergic to. I'm not doing that again. Two of them, in fact. Same family. That's why the pharmacist won't fill this prescription because it's has the same chemical or whatever it's called. Yeah. Okay, so basically it's causing me problems because the doctor now says if you can't take that, then you're going to take, and he goes to an extreme. Okay, I'm changing doctors. I've had enough with that practice already. Yeah, and but what's it causing problems? Who's it causing problems? Me. Okay, I've got to find a new doctor. I have to go, through all that all over again, seeing a new doctor. And last year I had a problem with a nurse practitioner. 2 of them, in fact. It's like, okay, I have problems, and like you can see, I'm not going to be able to fill a prescription, so there's no way I can take it. But the doctor is putting me in the middle of his little disagreement with what pharmacists do. Okay, and I let him know I'm just the patient, and I'm minding the professional, Well, there's nothing else I can do. I can't fill the prescription because I'm allergic to it, and they won't fill it. Anyway, you get the gist. I'm not at fault, but I'm the one that's being, scapegoated pretty much here. And that's the same thing with, it's not the same thing with the dentist. I changed dentist, I don't know, a year and a half ago or so, and it's one closer to home. And you know how these people that are these, some would just call them narcissistic, they're all about themselves, how manipulative they can be. I would have never suspected, and yeah, I am actually one who believes, always suspect people, that they might do something after my experience with getting my cell phone. It was one of those bad experiences, I'm telling you. But this dentist, I just didn't, think that he was going to be all about the money, and yeah, it turned out pretty bad. Okay, the bad in it was, I'm not a dentist. I've never worked in, a dental office, any of that. So I really wouldn't know all these things of what's going on behind the scenes. You can call. I did call. I actually had gotten a idea from the other dentist that I switched from, and he is also older, by the way. He's my age. But and the new one is young. Well, I found out some information, but overall, this new dentist, he did something wrong, and I'm the one that's paying for it. And I had to call around and ask to find out. Now, nobody should have to go through that much stuff just to to all this stuff because of this kind of person, toxic professionals, Yeah, the solution in my book is these are still professionals. They still know more about this than I. It's just their personality has a problem. They have an issue. So switch, change doctors, change healthcare professionals, whatever it is, change them. That's my solution. A lot of people think, hey, they've been through this and therefore they're no better. No, you don't know better than a professional unless you are one. So that's my opinion. I'm sticking to that one. But yeah. And anyway, then that's an example of several things with this. If you, if we get desensitized to what, the normalization, what is really going on, then it's a normalization of narcissism kind of thing. We say, oh, well, all, people, you will hear people say all or none. That's not a good way to think either. But they say all dentists are, like used car salesmen. It's like it becomes a stereotype and people become accepting of it. Oh, your doctor's not going to spend more than a minute or two with you. People become accepting of it. Instead of saying, it's like that you may have heard people say, you shouldn't say things like boys will be boys, because you're becoming accepting of the behaviors of a bad child. Not all boys are going to do that anyway. But you become accepting and put it out there as though they can do whatever they want, therefore. That's not a good thing. So it's never a good thing to say, oh, well, all used car salespeople are this way, or all dentists are this way, all doctors are this way, you see what I'm saying? It's not a good thing, because first of all, you don't know all of them. Second, not all of them would anyway, but you get the gist. Okay, but anyway, this kind of led me down a road to thinking about, the difference in living in a small town, or, an area that is not huge, that's not like, I live in one really huge suburb of Dallas, and just too many people, because you don't have people say, oh, well, I went to this dentist, or I went to this doctor, I went to this person, and this is what I found, because people aren't, this is my experience. It's not 100%, it's not total, no, not everybody does this or whatever. But yeah, in a smaller town, yeah, I would hear people say, well, I went to this dentist or that dentist, because there wouldn't be that many, that would be nearby. So they could say that, people could compare. People could say, oh, don't go to that doctor. He or she does this or that. You see what I'm saying? But in a big area that I live in, no, I seldom ever hear that. Okay, here's another example of things that we just get used to is, okay, here it is, June, summer's coming up, within this month, and of course, as the closer it gets to summer, the more expensive the gas becomes. None of us are fooled by that, are we? No, it doesn't suddenly become more expensive. They can come up with good reasons why, but no. Like that during the second Bush era when it went up crazy expensive. Well, woman, what are you doing? Yeah, no. Yeah, and then they were bragging about how much profit they made. Come on. Seriously. But we get used to this kind of thing because it is a normalization of it. That and people just become used to it. That's how it is. No, it really isn't a good thing for people to just become accepting of this kind of thing. Really, and not everybody, and not one person can do everything about everything. But what are you doing about anything? Or you just say, well, somebody else will take care of it. Somebody else. And I'm not talking about doing something that's illegal, but yeah, make awareness of it. If you feel comfortable with that. The thing about it is, there are people out there who will say, oh, yeah, but no, that they don't want to see it. They really don't want to see it. So they will make excuses, especially for like corporations and the big corporations. Oh, but they make us money. Really? Oh, I guess I could go down the road on that one. But they don't want to see it. So therefore it's, it doesn't exist to them. Yeah, they go in denial. But anyway, you get what I'm saying, and that's the kind of world that can develop, where this kind of narcissistic behavior, whether it's a collective narcissism or just one person, their narcissism, and I'm speaking, not as if they're diagnosed. They're not diagnosed. I'm not diagnosing them, but in the behavior is that, it's all about them kind of thing, and what they'll go through to whatever extreme to get it. But we shouldn't live in that kind of world. But it seems like the more and more these days, like I've said in other videos, it's getting like that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. If you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share on your own social media if you want to. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.